21 days. That great news, Senator Coons. Thank you, Chairman Haggerty. Ranking Member Reid, thank you, Secretary Bessent. I'll have 3 questions for you. This morning about sanctions, CDS, and direct file. We're about 7 weeks into the war with Iran. And I wondered, Misha Secretary, given that your department enforces sanctions, if you have a sense, just how much Iran has gained through sanctions relief. Since the war began, I'll tell you, estimates are $14 billion. Now, President Trump described the Obama-Iran deal as a disaster and a scandal because of the money Iran got, which were about 1.7 billion. I don't know how you describe 14 billion, but you don't have to read The Art of War to know that helping your adversaries gain money while you're at war is a terrible idea. And it's shocking to me that the country is currently profiting from the release of sanctions. Are our enemies, no country has profited more from this war than Russia. Oil and gas prices are up nearly 90% since February, and it'd be bad enough if Russia were just profiting from higher global oil prices. But your Treasury Department lifted sanctions on Russian oil, giving them an extra 150 million a day in revenue. And those funds are going not just to kill Ukrainians, but Russia is using its profits to support Iran with drones and intelligence to kill our troops off. Look, to summarize, I find it hard to believe that we are continuing to relieve sanctions pressure on Russia and Iran. I was encouraged when last week you said that the department would not extend the sanctions relief for Russia, yet the next day that was reversed. Can you give me any brief idea why it's a good idea to relieve sanctions on Iranian and Russian oil? With pleasure, Senator. $14 billion is a myth and unfortunately a DNC talking point that I've been subjected to many times. If anyone would like to show me where that 14 billion comes from, I look forward to an exchange of details on that. Mr. Secretary, we can exchange it in a very public forum. I'm not the DNC, I'm the senator from Delaware. Well, i.e., on every talk show and every senator seems to have. Do you disagree that Iran has received significant additional revenue from their sales of oil because of sanction relief? I couldn't disagree more. Okay. Do you disagree that Russia has received significant additional revenue from the sanctions relief? I couldn't disagree more. Okay, why did you relieve the sanctions against Russian and Iranian oil? Think of it this way, sir. There's the Strait of Hormuz. Familiar with it there. There is oil to the left and to the right. There is to the right that Treasury was able to the... Just as you are concerned about gasoline prices for the American consumer and for our Asian allies, Treasury was able to create the more than 250 million barrels on the water. And the way to think about this is as I came in today. The oil prices are at $100. If we had not done that sanctions early, they might have been at $1.50 because the world became very well supplied. So if Russia was selling their oil at a 20% discount, I can tell you that 100% of 100 is less than 80% of 150. And the American consumer has been better off. Well, we also look, the folks in Delaware are buying $4 a gallon gas today. I don't see that we've seen a significant reduction in the price of the pump or the price on the world markets. But I have 2 more questions I want to get to, and I look forward to disputing with you the details. I believe that Russia and Iran have benefited from the release of sanctions. And when you said we're not going to extend sanctions relief, and then we reversed, I was deeply disheartened, because we shouldn't be funding Putin's war machine. I would like to take that was. As a result, last week was Bank Week, World Bank and IMF Week, and on Wednesday it was my belief we would not do it. I was approached by more than 10 of the most vulnerable and poorest countries in terms of energy, and they asked us to extend that sanction, and it's only for 30 days. 30 days, 4.5 billion to Putin's war machine. 2 quick more questions. The CDFI fund. I was encouraged by your comments in support of CDFI last year. I am one of 32 senators, bipartisan senators, who are co-sponsors of the Danes Warner Afford Act, which strengthens the CDFI fund. Delaware, like most states, has a housing affordability crisis. Every dollar provided by Treasury to CDFS crowds in $8 in private investment. I think they are a prudent, bipartisan, effective way to help build affordable housing in rural and urban communities. I'm perplexed by your budget proposal, which would cut over 200 million, more than 60% cut to this successful program. Could you tell me briefly why? First of all, that was an apportionment. The funding, so you don't support it. The funding is now 280 million, and you support the new 100 million program in rural areas. And you know, I can tell you that part of the CDF program had lost its way in terms of a partisan agenda, and we can see, you know. For instance, Ma'am Secretary, I have one last question for you, and I don't think funding affordable housing is a partisan agenda. Direct file, you spoke compellingly about an interest in making the ERZU easier to access, more efficient. Yet you shut down the direct file program. I was very disappointed by that. More than 300,000 taxpayers used it last year. It is a week-free US government provided way to file taxes. The average American who has simple tax filing spends $270 and 13 hours filing their taxes through paid services. Direct file saved the average participant $160. 90% rated it favorably. And the alternatives are run by for-profit tax prep companies designed to steer filers towards paid alternatives. Why did you shut down direct file when it was free and easy to use? Well, it wasn't free, and the direct file was free to taxpayers. Not at all to the American people. It's $138 per person. So $72 million. For as you said, about 300,000 taxpayers. There is an alternative, which is a public-private partnership free file, which is free to the American people. The end filers, over 3 million people use that. And for direct file, more than 60% of the people who started there, their application didn't finish it. Thank you for those answers, Mr. Secretary. Thank you. I now like to turn it to Senator Fisher. Thank you, Mayor Chairman. How much time do we have for questions? Thank you. Welcome. Mr. Secretary, I know that Treasury and EARS have been busy working on new guidance for the many great policies that are contained in the Working Families Tax Cut Act. And one of those policies is my paid family medical leave program, tax credits. This credit provides a general business tax credit to employers to meaningfully offset the cost of providing paid family and medical leave to their employees. And I was proud to champion this back in 2017 as the first federal paid family and medical leave policy in this country, in the United States. And I also was particularly proud that it happened under Republican leadership. I was also proud that the Working Families Tax Cuts, I was able to enhance it and make it permanent. Now this is a big deal, and I think we should tout it. My team's been working with yours, and we are eager for the updated year's guidance to be released. That'll be critical to ensuring that employers can accurately claim tax credits and deductions, and employers are eagerly awaiting the publication of this guidance. Mr. Secretary, do you have an estimate on when this guidance will be published? And can you work to ensure it is prioritized to expand access to paid family and medical leave for American workers? Senator, thank you for your leadership here on this fantastic program. And it's an important part of the Working Families Tax Cut. So issuing the guidance to implement the